Welcome back, CHS. We're your hosts, Jenna McFadden
and Astoria Kendall. On this week's episode of The Jungle, we are taking a look at a very interesting part of our school.
Our unique agriculture program has really grown in the last few years. We've added more classes and resources to cater to our students' interests.
One of the most recent advancements made in the Ag program is the greenhouse beside the Ag building on 11th Street.
Today, we got to take a look at it.
A couple of years ago, I was approached about starting an elective class for junior high students because they felt we needed more options. And gardening was one of the subjects I had mentioned. And because the state won't let us call it gardening class, we have to call it horticulture. In the process of setting up the curriculum for it, I thought a little greenhouse would be useful. And in the conversation, the whole idea of a small greenhouse evolved into this. So now we have an 18-foot by 48 feet greenhouse with double-walled panels, which means it doesn't lose its heat like a little one would. Having the concrete floor acts like a heat sink to hold the sunlight all night long so that the furnace doesn't have to work quite as hard. And we have below the furnace a cooling unit which keeps it cool even when it was 100, I think it was 101 degrees. At first, because I was thinking of a small greenhouse, there are lots of grants that can be written for schools to get a small, like 12-foot by 12-foot greenhouse. The question was raised, how long does a grant process take? And my response was, well, according to what I looked up, it's anywhere from 16 months to 24 months, which meant we would have been working for almost 2 years without a greenhouse. And the response was, why don't we just build it? And apparently funds were available, and we made an agreement with Cunningham, which built the shed back here, and they helped fund part of it, and the rest came from monies that was available from the state for this kind of a structure. Officially, it's between myself and Mrs. Nelson. She has FFA classes that utilize it, my 3 horticulture classes. But I'm going to try to encourage other teachers to utilize it as well, even in the elementary. One of the benefits of having a large greenhouse is, and a lot of high schools do this, they have an annual plant sale to raise funds for all the things you need in a greenhouse, flower pots, potting soil, things like that. And so Mrs. Nelson and I, from the very start, once we realized we could get something this big, we thought, well, why don't we do like a Mother's Day plant sale? That means our students are going to have to figure out how to start in August when school starts, so that by the time we get to the 3rd and 4th 9 weeks, our plants are big enough and healthy enough that people will want to buy them in May.
We're very fortunate to have a facility like this at our school.
Now we'll pass it over to Kylie with Classroom Crash.
Classroom Crash, where we crash into our school's unique academics programs. This week, we're crashing into the Ag classroom to talk to FFA about their fruit and meat sales. I'm here now with Mrs. Nelson. Mrs. Nelson, could you just give a brief explanation of what FFA is?
FFA is a national organization that allows students to come together in the Ag program, and not just Ag students, but it can be any background, it can be anybody that has a passion for agriculture. So you don't have to be a farm kid. You don't have to have a farm experience to be an FFA. It's just a passion for agriculture and the industry itself.
Awesome, thank you. And what part do you personally play in the sales process?
As the advisor and the teacher in the classroom, I make sure that oversee all the packets getting made, the prices being set, that we're talking to local vendors. I also oversee the kids that bring in the money, that we get it totaled and tallied. We're unique in that we have our own business through the school versus other chapters who just sell the product. We are actually a business that serves other Kansas chapters throughout the state of Kansas in our district.
That's cool. Thank you. I'm here now with Shea Trecek and Krystal. Both of you, why did you decide to do FFA?
My dad was involved in FFA and so was my sister, so I decided why not do it and see where I could go.
I had always grown up around agriculture, so it was something that I knew I wanted to do at a young age. And I had already been in 4-H, and one of the things kind of when you get into high school is you go from 4-H to FFA and you run both programs, so that's kind of why I got into it.
Thank you. Cole, could you explain your sales process?
So our sales process, we started just before fall break, and we all got our packets, and we send out the high schoolers as well as the junior high kids to sell quota. And what our quota is $600 for high schoolers and $300 for junior high kids. And if you meet quota as a junior high kid, you get a free t-shirt and your dues paid for next year. And if you meet it as a high schooler, you get an FFA jacket your first year. So it's incentive to sell quota. And we've had a good luck with sales this year, although COVID has kind of shut down on some of selling to our other schools, but sales overall have gone really well.
And then Shea, why do you do sales?
We take this money and we usually use it on our national convention trip to pay for the hotel and a free dinner, but we don't have national convention in person this year, so we also use that money for our replacement of convention and for other activities during the year and scholarships.
All right, thank you both so much.
Smith Hughes Act provided money for school for vocational education. FFA is established. FFA got its official colors, blue and gold. FFA adopted clothing. First National FFA Center is dedicated in Alexandria, Virginia. New Farmers of America merges with FFA. First female president. Changed from mission statement to include all students and not just ag. First African American to be elected president. First convention held in Indianapolis for the first time. Jackets given to the Smithsonians. First virtual national conference.
My truck is an 84 Chevy step-side square body. I got my truck from my neighbor Bobby. My truck's name is Pumpkin, and I got it while sitting and welding, and Daniel told me to name it Pumpkin because it's orange. My favorite memory is driving around with Caleb and listening to a little bit of everything.
This week on Meet the Staff, we'll be talking to Emily.
Hi, I'm Jenna, and I'm back with this week's section of Meet the Staff. Today I'm here with freshman Emily Johnson. Emily, if you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Colorado.
How many pillows do you sleep with?
A lot.
What's your favorite sport to watch or play?
Softball.
What would you sing at karaoke night?
Our Song by Taylor Swift.
And what Netflix show did you binge watch embarrassingly quick?
Gilmore Girls.
Thank you, Emily. Now it's time for our upcoming events. Welcome back to Results and Upcoming Events with Jenna. Last Friday, the varsity football team beat Chapman 41-28. On Saturday, October 24th, the cross-country team placed 5th at regionals at Bueller. On Monday, the JV football team lost to Chapman 24-46. Upcoming events. The varsity football team travels to Scott City for the first round of the playoffs. Go Panthers!
Thank you. That's all for this week's episode.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time in The Jungle.